Steel hands that hold a train together. Hunks of solid metal that look like boxing. Fists that can really pack a punch. Today we're going to talk about working around the steel fists. About basic safety. We can run through flat switching and humping, all the other ways to make up a train later. A boxer doesn't start throwing combinations until he's got a good solid right and left. And he's not going to get in a ring at all until he learns to keep his guard up. That's why we're going to stick to the first line do's and don'ts about couplers. First of all, though, let's make sure we're talking each other's language and go over the different parts of a coupler. It's not all of that complicated. If we're going to call the coupler a hand, then its wrist is going to be the drawbar. It sticks out of a sort of sleeve called the housing. And the steel fingers are the knuckle. That round pin pivots the knuckle and lets the fingers get a grip. Okay? Watch them in action. That's some handshake. Now, take another look at the same deal, but watch the wrist, the drawbar this time. There's some give there, up to a foot or two on some cars. That's why the smart guy never lays a hand or foot on a drawbar. All right, we've got those couplers together. Made is the way most railroaders say it. To get them apart, you use the cut lever that goes from the coupling out to the side. Pulling up on the lever frees up the knuckle and breaks the connection. You can see what happens better on a single coupler. Lifting up on the cut lever, springs are open to let the other coupler go. A lot of guys call this pulling the pin. And that's it. No big deal. The trick is to get those hands to work for you, work safely when you're putting a train together. And the first thing to remember is that those steel fists mean business. Whenever you work around them, you need to have your guard up. This guy knows what he's doing. Watch him for a second. Looks simple, doesn't it? That's because doing the job the right way, the safe way, is second nature to the guy. There were 3 or 4 times when he could have gotten careless, gotten hurt, but he didn't. He started working even before he got near that cut of cars, checking with his crew to make sure there wouldn't be any movement, and double-checking himself. And he checks out the couplers, too. That baby ain't gonna make. See how it's off? But our buddy's not about to do anything about it until he's sure his engineer knows he's going in between cars and that nothing's gonna be moving. Now he'll go in there and adjust that coupler. He braces himself and lets all his body's muscles help out. He's keeping his feet and legs out from underneath the coupler. All he's got to do now is check once more to make sure everyone else is clear. Get himself into a safe position and give a good, clear signal for movement. Now, if that seems a lot of looking and remembering and details to go through to do a simple job, it is. And every step is worth it. After all, that's a couple 100 pounds of metal. Why hot dog around? Every step, every tip we've talked about is planned out to keep guys, including you, safe during coupling. To keep you out of reach of those steel fists. Breaking couplers looks just as easy. Some guys will tell you that it's just a matter of yanking a rod. The smart man knows better. He takes himself a good look first. If the angle cocks aren't already off, he makes sure they are. A live air hose packs quite a punch, too. He puts himself in a safe, clear position so he can't be bumped, and gets a sure, balanced stance, always facing the direction of movement. Then, he pulls the pin and gives the signal to roll. Now, sometimes a knuckle won't release right away, but a pro isn't about to pull a muscle trying to tug it free. He signals for a little slack. And most of the time, that's all it'll take to free her up. Every once in a while, though, you'll run across a knuckle that just isn't gonna budge. In a case like that, stop the works. Make sure that your crew knows what's happening. Your whole crew, before you cross over to try the other side. Over, never under. On the way, keep off that drawbar and cut lever. There's other, much safer places to walk. Chances are real good that the lever's working on the other car. You're back in business. Pull a rod, give a signal, make an adjustment. Working with couplers sounds simple when you talk about it. Maybe it's too simple for some guys, and they let their guard down after a while. That's a bad mistake. You see, a guy who gets careless around railroad couplers is risking a lot more than a cut lip or a puffed up eye. Learns early in the game to keep it all together all the time. Good balance, sure footing, alertness for every move, and that guard always up. Add some respect for what you're facing, and some technique, and you're a winner. Same in your work. Putting together a few good habits goes a long way toward keeping you on top. Whenever you're doing coupling work, face the direction of movement. Make sure you'll have clear, level ground. Stay clear of cars on your track and the next track over. Make sure you won't be tangling with a charged air hose. Make double sure your whole team is working together on every move. Finally, you've got to remember a handful of common sense rules. They pretty much boil down to this. You don't ever belong between moving equipment for any reason. Always call for a full stop. And make sure you've got it before you go between equipment. Second, take it easy with those couplers. Ease them over. Don't risk a rear end full of gravel by trying to kick or straight arm it. Lastly, and most important of all, like in any railroad work, always keep your mind on what you're doing and your guard up, champ. Remember, there are people who care a lot about you. Stay safe with them.